dragons dragging your ass when you're on your way to work. Dragons. All kinds of dragons. The kinds that you like, the kinds that you hate, the kinds that are fun, the kinds that are not so fun, the kinds that breathe fire, the kinds that are lucky, the kinds that are European, the kinds that are Chinese. Check it out, guys. It's crazy where dragons come from. There's a dragon in every culture. There's pretty much a dragon in almost every culture, and there's a reason for that, actually. And I'll tell you about that in a second. I just want to make sure that all systems are go, that everything is connected. I want to make sure that our chat rooms are live, that y'all can watch. And there will be no technical malfunction like there was yesterday. I don't like that. We do this every day, noon, 5 days a week. You know, like the work week. People working. Work is for chumps, really. Why do we even work? I think they should just get rid of that idea. You should do the things you love, people. If you do the things you love, you never work a day in your life. You just work your whole life. You work constantly. That's the funny thing when they say that. Yes, it doesn't feel like work because you're passionate about something that you want to complete. You want to do something. You have a project in your mind. You have a goal that you want to accomplish, and you work toward it tirelessly. However, if you do something that you love, you're actually working way more than you're doing something that you don't, when you're doing something that you don't love. That is what I contend. That's what I put to you. And I would like to see and hear what you guys think about that. We're live now. Check it out. I'm going to mute that. Just going to make sure that all of the things are streaming correctly. Let me know if you're experiencing any technical difficulties. I'm going to drop the Discord link. If y'all want to join my Discord and be a fan and continue the conversation outside the show, you can go to Discord. Guys, I keep forgetting. I'm having a contest. Once I reach 10,000 subscribers on YouTube and or Twitch, whichever comes first, 10,000 followers on Twitch, 10,000... Even comprehend with a regular human mind. You need computers to understand it. Still watching a TV show called War of the Worlds. Don't spoil it. I'm still watching it. It's dragon. Get it? It's dragon a little bit in the middle. One of my favorite dragons is Falcor. Falcor. You're Atreyu. I know, 'cause you're on a quest. And you talk in your sleep. He's kind of a creepy dragon, though, if you think about it. A little too friendly, you know what I mean? Friendly dragon. Hey, guys, what's up, Sunset, JKU? What's up, Jamie, Ali, Murad? Nice to see you. I'm on all the platforms streaming. I'm on Twitch. I'm on YouTube. And if you got comments, questions, let me know. Let me know your favorite dragons. Remember the last dragon from the 80s? Sure enough. How could you forget that? I remember that movie because when I was a young brown kid and that came on television, it came on commercial TV, so I had to wait 5 minutes worth of commercials every 10 minutes and to finish that movie. And I was like, there's a whole bunch of brown people that know Kung Fu. This is crazy. I don't even understand how this works. Is it working? Lori 3040. Am I Peach Dragon? That's a good one. Am I working currently on Twitch? Because I had a problem yesterday where Twitch just decided it didn't want to continue streaming. So I don't know what that was all about. I didn't really find that out until the end of the hour. So sorry, Lori 3040, that I didn't come through. If you want to catch up on yesterday's show, you can check it out on YouTube. It's saved. All of the shows are saved there. And Peach Dragon, that's remember Puff the Magic Dragon? Remember that song? That song, Puff the Magic Dragon. I wonder what Peter, Paul, and Mary was singing about. They were singing about marijuana. I'm not really wondering, I'm just joking about wondering. I know that they were talking about hallucinogenic marijuana. Puff the Magic Dragon. If you smoke this, you'll see things. You'll see a dragon. But if it's a bad trip, you're gonna have to chase the dragon. That's also the terms in everyday parlance are interesting. I guess chasing the white whale turned into chasing the dragon, because there's this term that I learned from people who unfortunately have to, I guess it's a term you can apply across all passions and pursuits, but people who suffer from really hardcore drug use call this thing called chasing the dragon. You ever hear that term? It's a sad term. It means that they can never experience the first high that they ever had when they had that particular type of drug, and then they keep trying to chase that high, and they call that chasing the dragon, which gives a bad name for dragons, because I like dragons. Stop with your drug dragons. I think it's funny where dragons come from, guys. Get this. This is a really interesting thing. I'll wait till a few more people come in here. This is an ongoing theory about where dragons actually come from, because there's a dragon in almost every culture. Asian cultures, European cultures, African cultures. There's a symbolic representation, and why would that be? Why would it transcend all cultures independently? So these isolated cultures develop the ideas of similar things, and there's a really interesting theory behind that, and I'd like to share that with you. There's a really cool video you could watch on that on Vsauce 2, I think it is. Vsauce 2. So Google Vsauce 2 and dragon, and you'll see. It's like the oldest fear among all humans. Interesting. Interesting. As I stroke my ever-growing beard. This is crazy. The neck beard is fully on display here. I wore a green shirt today. Yes, I did. Welcome, everybody, to the Aristotle Full Throttle Show. We're all dressed in green today. I hope that you're wearing green. Some say that I was birthed from a dragon. I doubt it. I don't even know where I'm from. Nobody does. I'm Dr. Baby Yoda Fauci, and I throw out first pitches. And I also tell you to wear a mask, everybody. The corona crisis is the worst it's been so far. Yet there seems to be the least amount of enthusiasm surrounding personal safety right now. So let's hold strong, let's hold fast, and be on top of the game here. Let's be on top of the ball. Let's make sure that we are being safe, that we are wearing a mask in public, and try not to be a D-hole. Thank you, Dr. Baby Yoda Fauci. Luck dragons. Any questions out there? Lori3040 says, meddle not in the affairs of dragons, for you are crunchy and good with ketchup. Yeah. Pete's Dragon. I remember watching the animated Pete's Dragon, where he had like a cartoon dragon. That was interesting. I was a very young kid. It was Disney. It was made by Disney. Pete's Dragon was a. I found it. The animation bad, even as a kid. How did you guys feel? If you're on YouTube chatting, I cannot see your chats right now. It says my connection has expired, but I am on YouTube and I still don't see any chats. But maybe hop over to the Discord and chat there, and I'll try to catch up with your. We'll try to centralize the chatting there. Maybe, I don't know. The technology, I tried to fix it. I am not in charge of Twitch or all of these things, so I'm not sure how they work functionally. But before we get to the dragons and the origins of all dragons across all cultures, let's look at the hot topics. How you doing? Let's do some hot topics. Let's see what's trending on Twitter, shall we? And let's talk a little bit about that. Let's open up to one another. But some of my favorite dragons as we're waiting here. Remember Dungeons and Dragons? That was cool. There was a video game in the 80s called Dungeons and Dragons, which was on a laser disc, so it would just show clips of animated sequences, and you had to press the button at just the right time. You had to move the joystick at just the right time so that it would queue up another area of the laser disc and show you the correct scene. But I would die every time. I wasted so many quarters on Dungeons and Dragons, the arcade game, the animated arcade game, because it wasn't a real game. There was no strategy. You just had to hit the button at the right time. You literally just had to, like, wait, and then an arrow would point up and say left, and then you'd push left, and then a new animation sequence would pop up, and you'd watch it, and then a button would pop up, and then you'd have to press that button. And it was so incredibly difficult. It was probably the most difficult game ever. Because you would literally put a quarter in, and then 20 seconds later, you'd have to put another quarter in. I kept losing my man. I needed a free man. I used to have a 7-Eleven at the end of my street, and back in the day, 7-Eleven used to have arcade games inside the 7-Eleven. This might blow your mind. You know how they have an ATM? You know how they have an ice cream thing where you could slide open and there's a frozen Snickers bar? There's a Crunch bar, and there's ice cream sandwiches. You know that thing? Where those things are? There used to be arcade games there, and you could go play. There used to be like a little nook inside of 7-Eleven. You guys remember this? Am I the only one who remembers this? Hey, there you guys are. I see you on YouTube. Speaking of your beard, I'm a horrible judge of what people look like under their beards, but I keep thinking, Candyland, I'm going to tell you something right now. When I shave my beard, I look exactly... This is actually a mold of my face without a beard. Right here. That's just a mold. I took a life casting of my face and created this when I didn't have a beard. And then I grew my beard, and this is what I look like. So just to give you an example, that's what happens. Sometimes you get even uglier. Let's see. If you shaved your beard, removed your glasses, and were completely bald, you look like Keegan-Michael Key. I would like to think that Keegan-Michael Key... I've heard that. Candyland, it's funny. I would tell you, though... Let's take the glasses off. See? I don't know if I would look exactly like Keegan-Michael Key. I don't know if it's exact. I don't know if that's an exact match. I'd like to say maybe Ario Van Peebles. That's what you could call me, Ario Van Peebles. Is the Twitch still streaming? It says live. Good. You know Ario Van Peebles from Jaws 4. Everybody knows him. Good golly. Let's see. Let's do this, Candyland. Let's try to get Keegan-Michael Key on this show, and when he comes on the show, I will shave my head and beard, and you will be seeing double, and you will not know which is which. And then he will take over this show, and I will take over his career. How about that? I think that's a good trade-off. How about if I reach 1 million subscribers, I shave my head? How about maybe I'll shave my head? How about when I reach 1 million subscribers, maybe I'll shave my head and beard, and then that'll be the thing. And then once I reach 1 million subscribers, I'll be like, let me think about it. Let's see, what's trending? AOC is trending. You heard? Ted Yoho calls her the B word, the effing B word, and she was like, no. Let me tell you something first of all. Someone from Queens, I'm from New York, right? I am from New York. AOC is from New York. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. That's how I say it. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She's from New York, okay? She's from Queens, all right? You don't call someone from Queens the B word. That's all I'm going to say. I don't know what people think they can get away with in other parts of this country. But you cannot call someone an F and B. I don't care what your political affiliation is. I don't care if you like AOC or not. If you call a person from Queens an F and B, you best be ready to feel some wrath. Talk about dragons. You gotta look out, okay? That's a big mistake. All right, I'm telling you, as a fellow human being right now, do not call someone from Queens an F&B. It was nice knowing you, if you do. Okay, so just watch the F out, all right? Do not do that. That is a bad move in by every account. So she came back out against Ted Yoho very calmly, shockingly calmly, and she kind of tore him a new one, which was pretty cool because, you know, she made a good point. You don't call people a B. Like, she's a congresswoman. You call someone a effing B, congresswoman? I mean, I do call the president a dumb schmuck, but I mean, that's what he is. But I would never call him a B, even though he might be one. Yeah. Anyway, Bill and Ted 3, that's trending. I just watched the trailer for that and laughed. I watched the trailer for that and I was laughing, and I don't care. It might be dumb, it might be silly, it might be stupid even, but I enjoyed the trailer. I loved my Bill and Ted's. The Superman curl's in effect. All right, let me bring the Superman curl out to the front. Truth, justice, and the African American way. I made that up just now. African American, that's a fun term. Not many people can use it. Let's see. It was a time when he was discovering black filmmakers, and his dad popped up. Yes. Yeah, you don't want to Google Mario Van Peebles' dad. You want to Google Mario Van Peebles. Ario Van Peebles. That's me. I'll just be the next one. I just mentioned Mario Van Peebles because I think he's a little bit handsomer than Keegan-Michael Key. So I will just, if you were to give me the choice, I'd be like, well, why not the handsomer one? I used to get Lenny, it depends on the decade, guys. I used to get Lenny Kravitz, and then I got LMFAO, and then I got the guy from the IT crowd. So Keegan-Michael Key, he's funny, he's alright, he's alright. But he's no Peel though. See, that's the thing. I take it personally because I'm like, we all know Jordan Peele got the real, and Chong sounds like he looks like he's the burnout, but Chong is like writing all this stuff. You know, Chong is like the genius, and then Cheech is like, hey man, you know, what's happening? You know, he does his little Cheech bit, but Chong is like coming up with all the ideas. You know, that's my theory anyway. I think we all know Jordan Peele. Look, Jordan Peele made Get Out. I feel like if you compared me to looking like Jordan Peele, I'd be like, okay, all right, because he's a genius. Keegan is crazy. He is a straight clown. But I feel like his enthusiasm outweighs his... I mean, they need each other is what I'm saying. Because he's got the energy and the enthusiasm, and Jordan Peele's got that, like, slow burn. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to catch up on these. It's so weird how my... Here, let me check my settings. Bot. Oh, there's a bot. I could set up a bot here. Guys, if you want to go check out my t-shirts and stuff, here, let me do this. I got to get new designs. What I'm going to do, if anybody likes to design gear and stuff like that, I would love to collaborate and share some profits with you if you'd like to help design some cool looking gear. Here's a gigantic ugly link that oh, it's too big for the chat room. I don't know why it does that. Listen, when I look at comedy duos, I always feel like there's always one who's like the real genius, but they always need the other one, you know what I'm saying? It's like one is the muse and the clown, and one is the genius. It's like Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty need each other. You know what I'm saying? Here we go. Here's the link to my t-shirts and stuff. I don't know. Maybe I could wear a new t-shirt. Let's see what else is trending. I did like Bill and Ted. That was cool. Let's see. It's so dark outside. My lights have turned on. Here comes the rain. Here comes the rain again. What are you singing there? Rhythmics? That's right. Depends on who was born first. I think Keegan-Michael Key was born first. Let's look him up. He might look like me, depending on that. Yeah, he was definitely born way before me. So here's the funny thing about... So I look like him. The funny thing is, Keegan-Michael Key and LMFAO. When LMFAO was walking down the street, people used to yell out their car LMFAO at me. Because LMFAO, if you remember that group, the Berry Gordies, the Gordy relatives, they wrote the songs, I Work Out, that song. Those guys, oh, I guess whatever I apparently looked like when I first moved to LA. So everybody was like, you look like LMFAO. And I'd be like, all right, fine. But I just hope when LMFAO is walking down the street, people are screaming, Aristotle full throttle at them. That's what I hope. Pinky and the Brain, they need each other. Exactly, Candyland. That's what I'm saying. Pinky nor the Brain could try to take over the world by themselves and fail. They need each other to try to take over the world like they do every night and fail. That they need each other for that. It's true. What other kind of dragons do we have? What kind of dragons do you like? Let's load up on some dragon thoughts. I'm going to explain something I learned about what a potential theory as to why there are dragons across all cultures, why we all perceive similar looking beasts that we're afraid of. It's really kind of fascinating. It's kind of like an ingrained archetype in all of human brains and cultures. Dragons. Ooh, Star Trek is trending. Oh, this is a Nickelodeon show? I don't know. Why is Star Trek trending, guys? I'd like to know. I love it. The Lakers, that's sports. Let's see. Jeff Bridges came out with a signature guitar. That's cool. Washington football team. That's the new name for the Washington Redskins. The Washington football team. What do you guys think about that? I like it. Xbox games. You guys know that Comic-Con is going on right now. And you are here. And I thank you for coming here instead of going to Comic-Con. You could go to Comic-Con anytime. I mean, only one time a year, but I'm glad that you guys are here. And if you guys are on Twitch, thank you for following. If you guys are on YouTube, you could go over on Twitch, follow, do some cross follows, hang out on all of the different platforms. Kraken. The NHL, official newest NHL franchise in Seattle, is called the Kraken. Release the Kraken. My friend Oliver made a joke, or my friend Chris made a joke. Let me check to verify who made the joke, but he said, you know the nickname, the fans are going to be called the Crackheads, right? Oh, my friend Chris, he said, the fans of the Krakens are going to be called the Crackheads. You know it. Taylor Swift's coming out with a new album. If you guys have the chance, listen to Ryan Adams, even though Ryan Adams should be canceled right now for a bit. Ryan Adams did a cover album of her 1989 album, which is actually, I think, better than her version. Mike Tyson, he's trending. Wait a second. Mike Tyson will fight Roy Jones Jr. in an 8-round exhibition match. What? You know who should fight Mike Tyson? Will Smith. If he still thinks he can... I did say African. I think Will Smith should beat Mike Tyson. Fight Mike Tyson. That's going to be an interesting fight. Who do you think will win in a fight with Mike Tyson, Roy Jones Jr., and Will Smith? Angie says, rest in peace, Roy Jones. Yeah, I don't know what anybody's thinking. You saw that footage of Mike Tyson about a few weeks ago when he was just sparring, or he was just hitting those gloves. I was like, that is some massive amounts of superhuman power that Mike Tyson has. His body is built to punch. It's crazy. Oh, the dragon from Shrek. That's a good one, Lori. 3040. Shrek dragons. You know, it's funny that there's a dragon in Shrek, and Eddie Murphy also plays a dragon in, what, Mulan? Where's Eddie Murphy the dragon? And Eddie Murphy plays the donkey in Shrek. Interesting. That's right, Mulan. And Eddie Murphy, guess what? Eddie Murphy got the dragon trifecta because if you guys remember The Golden Child, the dude he fought was like Satan. We were talking about Satan movies. The dude he fought turned into a giant dragon. People forget about the dragon. Never forget. Never forget the dragon that Eddie Murphy got to beat. Yeah, that sparring video, Angie, I'll tell you, I'm going to wait till Mike Tyson's 95 before I challenge him. And still, I will wear headgear and body gear. I will not challenge Mike Tyson. I would not try that at all. That doesn't seem like a good idea, Roy Jones Jr. Roy Jones Jr. gonna be knocked into Roy Jones III after that. Let me tell you. He gonna become Roy Jones Sr. in 1 second. Washington Team Football. That's what I think the name should be called for the Washington. They got to change their name from the Redskins, which is a ridiculous, stupid name that they had for way too long. Redskins, come on now. The Washington, what kind of name is that you're going to be like, well, it's a cool, it pays tribute. Stop it. Just stop it. So many things, guys. It's crazy how much we've been perpetuating bad ideas. And we just keep perpetuating. We were just like, nah, it's fine. We've been doing it for hundreds of years. Columbus Day is perfectly fine. Never mind the fact that he never set foot in North America. He never set foot, Columbus in his entire lifetime never set foot in North America. He did not discover it. Because if you can't say you discovered a place that there are people at already. That's like me going to Denny's. And be like, I discovered Denny's. Check it out. There's people sitting around. They're like, can I take your order? And I'm like, I hereby declare Denny's Aristotle land. Denny's. They're just like, yo, it's Denny's. You want some moons over my hammy? I discovered this place. I discovered moons over my hammy. Here's another thing that Columbus didn't discover. Peppers. You know, green peppers, red peppers, capsicums? He called them peppers because he's an idiot. Pepper are little peppercorns, right? They grow on trees. When you grind them up, the shell has the flavor and the inside has the spice, or vice versa. And you put that on top of your eggs over your moons of my hammy, over my hammy. That's what pepper is. But when he tasted a capsicum for the first time, he's like, oh, it's spicy and it tastes of pepper. And for hundreds of years now, we call them peppers. He called people who were living here already Indians because he's like, they're brown. We must have landed in India. And they were like, nah, dude. We are totally not even Indian people. We're like many, many different nations of people. And he was like, y'all are Indians. Y'all are Indians, and that's like Louis C.K. bit. And it's funny, but Louis C.K., God rest his soul. Just like Roy Jones Jr. gonna be dead soon. You know, let me just pour one out to Roy Jones Jr. in advance. I hope Roy Jones Jr. been training. That dragon from Shrek is pretty good. So let's talk about where dragons come from. It's interesting. I'm fascinated by this, actually. I was watching this video. It's on here. I'm going to put that link in the chats. It's on Vsauce. And you guys can watch this video afterward. I found it kind of amazing. I think it might be this video, The Inventions of Dragons. And there are 3 similarities that all dragons have across all cultures. Talons, like giant, like bird of prey like talons, or like a beak. You've seen those dragons that have like a giant beak. They have scaly skin, horns or scaly skin or stuff like that. Or in like Chinese cultures, there are dragons that they all fly. A lot of them do. Or they're in the shape of like a lion, like a giant cat. They kind of move like a giant cat does. If you think about it, here's the link. You guys, he'll explain it way better than me. But I love talking about this. And across all cultures, these are the similarities that we find in a dragon that people say is out there, but they never really see them. It's kind of a mythological creature. And they wonder why they're so similar. And there's actually a group of primates that have specific calls. So the dragons tend to be like snakes with wings, but also have giant lion-like teeth. In varying different amounts. So sometimes they'll lean more toward like a lion type of dragon. Sometimes they'll lean more toward a bird type of dragon. Sometimes they'll lean more toward a snake like a dragon type of dragon. And in this primate group, they see that they have 3 different calls that they'll shout out if they see a snake. They'll run up a tree. They'll be like, yo, everybody, there's a snake in the grass. And they'll run up a tree. Or they'll say, hey, everybody, there's a bird of prey in the sky, like an eagle. And they'll run to the bushes. Or they'll say, hey, everybody, here comes a lion. Watch out. Be on your feet and be on your toes. So there's an instinctual thing among all primates, like us humans are among primates. So we say the idea is that somewhere built into our brain is the awareness that serpent-like creatures, bird of prey type creatures with giant talons that can come. Somewhere in our brain, we combine all of those things in our subconscious to create the image of a dragon, which is connected across all cultures. It's insane. It's really, really cool. I buy into that theory, even though, you know, it could just be all poppycock. It could be hogwash. It could be fiddlesticks. But I think it's pretty interesting that maybe across what connects us all as humans is our deepest, darkest fears. Some people are just afraid of snakes. Of course, the worst type of threat. A flying lizard lion. Watch out. Christopher Dance. Yes. Charles Dance. That's right. Charles Dance played the serpent in Golden Child. He's also the dad. He's the Tyrion's dad. Tyrion killed him. Spoiler alert. Charles Dance was great. Remember he had that eyeball in The Last Action Hero where it would change in every scene? That was cool. I wanted an eyeball that could change. Yeah, sometimes it breathes fire. You watch out for fire, because fire, another thing, fire is it's Promethean, guys. The whole idea of fire being controlled by humans and started by humans. You put Christopher, it's okay, Angie. It's a C name, it'll count. It's all fair. Hey, everybody on Instagram, thank you for joining me. Guys, on Instagram, you can go over to twitter.tv/Aristotle Full Throttle and hang out there. That's also a good place to hang out and chat. You guys are watching. We're talking about dragons today. Some of the designs are lame. Some of them are really cool, though. What are your favorite designs for dragons? I do like the cartoon dragon, How to Train My Dragon, because they make dragons look cute. I want 2 eyeballs that see better. Yeah. Me too. Should I get LASIX? Maybe I'll get LASIX and I'll shave my head and I'll shave my beard and I will become Keegan-Michael Key for you. I like when Keegan-Michael Key does the what Obama's really thinking. He does the translation. It's amazing. That's an amazing bit. It's kind of the most amazing bit. But you know Keegan-Michael Key, he need Jordan Peele. They need each other. They need each other to be funny. Sean Connery's Drago. Yeah. The animation in that, though, Angie, that Drago is, you know, it didn't match. It didn't match what was its surroundings. I want to rewatch that movie with Matthew McConaughey and Christian Bale with the dragons in the sky. I really want to rewatch that one because I hear it wasn't too bad. It's been a long time. It's like Fire Sky. LASIK. You had LASIK years ago. Can't stop aging. So, Lori? Tell me about your LASIK experience. I'd like to know if you can spot dragons from further up in the sky. Now that you have LASIK, was it a good idea or a bad idea? I just get weirded out of the idea that somebody's gonna be like all up in my eyeballs. I'm gonna like freak out. I know that it takes like 10 minutes for the whole process, and they like they immobilize your eye, and I don't know. It just creeps me out getting all up in the eyeball. I think I can qualify for LASIK, but I don't know the look. This is kind of part of the look, right? It was great. Maybe I'll go do that. Maybe I'll get the cheap version of LASIK where they just punch you in the eye. So they just use a butter knife. Hey, how much for this LASIK? They're like $17.50. I'll give you $17.50 plus $2.50 tip. Here's a 20. Take that and punch me in both eyes. Oh, well, thanks, Angie. I just may go with the Glassics then. I'm going to go with Glassics. I got Glassics surgery. They just put these on my face and I could see better suddenly. Yeah, Angie, here come. Cheers to wearing glasses. Here's to myopic people. Here's to astigmatisms. Thank you. I don't know. I feel like, it's funny. It's hard to avoid in Hollywood. Like, watch me in 10 years. I'm gonna have like hair implants with my hairline's gonna be down here. I'm gonna have like super white teeth, no glasses, like a dimple in my chin. I'll look like Bruce Campbell does in that movie where he plays the doctor. What movie is that? Where he's like, looks all crazy. He has the makeup on. Is that Bruce Campbell in that movie or someone else? I think it's like Johnny Mnemonic, right? Johnny Mnemonic. How do you spell mnemonic? I forget. I need like some way to remember how to say mnemonic. I need a device that would help me remember how to say mnemonic. This is gonna be me in 15 years. Hey guys, Aristotle Facts here. You might remember me from the movie Brazil. Remember Brazil? That's what we do. We pull faces. The funny thing about acting is the trick about acting is you gotta just be like real in the moment. But sometimes people think acting is about what faces you make. Man, they made a lot of good faces. It's kind of funny. It's just sometimes people think, they go, man, that actor, he's really good. He made a lot of faces. So I guess it works for some people. I think Jim Carrey got away with it for years, but then he got good at acting after a while. But he did make a lot of good faces. I let my husband do it first. I wish I want such a baby and had it done sooner. Well, you wish you weren't such a baby and had done it sooner. Yeah. Okay. Can you see? Now you're selling me on it. I'm gonna go get a consultation right now. How much for this LASIK? $5,000. How much for just one eye? That's gonna be me. How much for just one eye LASIK? How much you don't use the laser? How much if you just punch me in the eye? Ooh, Harry Potter had some good dragons. I don't know from Harry Potter as much. I wish I could watch the Harry Potter movies. I wish I could sit through a whole one. I kid. I do like it. I did enjoy it. I would like Harry Potter more if I watched it with a bunch of people who really like it. Maybe one day, check this out. Maybe we'll all get together on Discord and watch Harry Potter together. And I will give you my reaction to Harry Potter. We could do it live. Well, we won't do it on a platform in which I could get demonetized. We'll just do it. We'll just watch Harry Potter And then y'all can explain to me why it's good. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I know. I understand there's so much fun in fantasy. But I think the problem I have with magical movies would be like, it's like the thing I take issue with most is the fact that magical movies tend to just rely on the fact that there's a magical spell for just about everything. It's a magical spell. I got out of focus. Sorry, guys. You know what I'm saying? I think no matter what situation Harry Potter's in, he's like, oh my God, this is insurmountable. I have no idea what I could possibly do. Oh, I know magic. Oh yeah. I forgot. I almost forgot. I know magic. I have magic godlike powers. It takes the drama out of it for me because I always feel like the next thing is going to be the thing. I think people can make fun of me because they're like, well, you like Marvel movies and you like DC movies. And I'm like, well, yeah, because they all have very specific character qualities that make them who they are. And then their powers are not unlimited. Their powers are limited, very limited, unless you're Captain America and you can pick up the hammer. Pill to swallow. That every single time Harry Potter's like, oh man, I wish I knew what to do in this scenario. Oh wait, let me say these 3 words. I wish I knew the 3 words I needed to say right now, or else the whole world will die. And he's like, oh wait, let me get my handbook out and read those words aloud. And now everything's better. Is that a cynical look at magic and Harry Potter? I know I love movies unabashedly like Star Wars, Star Trek. I love movies with X-Men and superheroes. I love movies like Hamilton, where they could sing suddenly. Imagine a world we lived in where people just suddenly just started singing. There'd be a lot of faces punched, I think. I think if someone just started going, la 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 la, and then thought that was the answer to whatever question their faces would get punched. There'd be a lot of punched faces in this world. That's just my theory. I am showing my bias. I can't help it. Harry Potter's like this. Oh my God, guys. We just went through 6 movies together. And we almost died like 400 times. So there's a bad thing happening now. We're 7 movies in. What am I gonna do? Oh, wait. Magic wand. E pluribus unum. And then everything gets fixed. Am I just peeing in the cornflakes of Harry Potter right now? Yes. Why am I wrong? Am I wrong? I could be wrong. I could be perceiving it entirely wrong. How could one be biased about every movie they have not seen? Yes, see that's true. I am. That's why, Tatiana, that's why I do want to watch these movies with people who are insanely enthusiastic about them. Because then maybe it'll rub off on me. That shine will rub off on me and I could appreciate it. It's like football, guys. I'm not a big sports guy. I like to play sports. I like to work out. I like to exercise. I like to do physical activities. However, sitting and watching other people do it, not as fun for me. So when I watch sports, I'm like, sports! I watch it with my friends who are way into sports. I watch sports, football, baseball, with people who are like, there's stakes, guys. I need them to explain to me why I should care about what's going on. And I got a good friend, Oliver. He will tell me when we're watching a football game, when I'm forced to watch a football game because there's a bunch of people there who like football, I'll sit next to Oliver and he'll be like, okay, so this guy over here, he's a vet and he used to play for this school. And the reason why there's a rivalry between him and this guy is because this guy earlier in the season got an injury, and that he will explain to me the drama involved in that particular game. And it would be really great if this team won, because this team hasn't won in like 417 years. And if he does it, then he will honor his father, his father was a Nigerian prince. And if this guy does that, his family will feel honored. And like, he will explain to me why the football players, like what their lives are like, what kind of stakes are involved. And then that to me makes it more interesting, because now I'm involved in the drama. I'm like, all right, that sounds interesting. Sounded like, to me before, it just looked like sports. But now I'm watching a movie. Now I'm watching a real game unfold. To me, that's The Bachelor is your sports Candyland. I was talking about The Bachelor last night. The Bachelor, I was saying how The Bachelor hacks people's brains, okay? No judgment on fans of The Bachelor. However, it is reality TV. I've worked on reality TV. I get it. People like to see that drama unfold. People like to watch that Bachelor situation. They're like, one man and 30 women. I find it funny. But he's in love. He found true love. Here's the funny thing about The Bachelor, and I know I'm wrong because I know recently they had a black bachelorette. If you like The Bachelor, I don't think I'm saying anything that's untrue. Y'all could continue watching The Bachelor. I get it. It is on season 516. It is human crack for people. This is why I will not start watching The Bachelor. I will not start watching The Bachelor because I have seen people's eyes turned into spirals staring at The Bachelor. They don't want to stop watching The Bachelor. They love it. They're like, I cannot believe she did that. She crazy. They're talking about, listen, I was watching Married at First Sight. I'll admit it. I was watching Married at First Sight. I was watching Married at First Sight because no particular reason. It was trending on Netflix. But I find it interesting that we got to like take steps backward from when the person is like throwing their shoes at each other and screaming and crying about, I loved you. And he's like, yeah, baby, I loved you. And I also loved her. And I loved her. We was all loving. Next week, I get to love the other lady. And then I'm going to love the other lady. And I'm going to say I'm in love with you. But I'm going to pick the other lady. Whenever The Bachelor happens, and it's the same for both directions. It's The Bachelorette and The Bachelor, same thing. It's like, I really like him, but I really love him, but I love him, but I like him. You got to break down all the constructs. It's crazy, because The Bachelor, he's like, yeah, baby, I love you. And then the next scene, he's like, yeah, baby, I love you. And then there's like 30 women, and they got to whittle it down. And they always get like the black contestant down to like 5 people. And then that's when, and then you're like, oh, the black lady or the black guy is getting close to finishing. They always get close, and then no cigar. I find that funny. I know recently that was different. That changed. I saw Emmanuel Acho talking about that on Uncomfortable Conversations with a Black Man. He had the Bachelorette on with her husband. And but I find that funny when they're like, we're just going to sprinkle in a couple black people. And then right at the last minute, they're going to get X'd. What's up with that? What's up with that? Why even? Why even? They're like, look, black people, you could get this close to winning a game show, but not if it's... I don't know. That's my cynicalness on The Bachelor. But also, mainly cynically, I was dating somebody who would watch The Bachelor, and they would be this person was so critical of people who were like single or dating. They'd be so like in one camp, they were so cynical of the idea of being single and dating, but would obsessively watch The Bachelor. And I'm like, so you think this dude who is dating 30 women, one man, 30 women, like, you think that's totally cool, like that scenario to you is fine, yet a person who wants to just remain single Not cool. I found that hypocritical. What do you guys think about that? It is human crack. People love The Bachelor. I was watching 90. I haven't watched Ron. Hey, what's up, Ron? I haven't watched 90 Day Fiance yet, but I've seen the guy from it. Or whatever. I have watched maybe 9 episodes of Married at First Sight. And here's the basic breakdown. I actually met a guy at a party who's one of the producers for the Bachelor. And yeah, it's like 50 guys. Let's see. And the guy who was the producer, who was just like, yeah, you know, I don't know, it just can't fail. It just can't fail. You put one person in the room, one lady in the room, and then surrounded by 50 dudes, and be like, all right, here's a bunch of alcohol. Go. You just turn the cameras on. Everybody wants to watch. Fair enough. But I think you have to kind of take steps backward and go, hey, if someone really wanted to find true love, I think it's a great idea if, since I'm searching for true love and I don't want attention at all, why don't I go on a TV show and meet that person of my dreams? Nobody acts normal when there's a camera on them. And particularly if you want to have an entertaining show, you pick the most interesting people. And interesting people, by that I mean crazy. You pick people who are going to be good for TV, which means they're going to provide some drama and entertainment. You don't pick normal, stable people who are going to be like well-balanced as far as their decision-making process, because clearly they've come to a point in their life where they decided that I am going to meet the love of my life. They haven't. They were like, I want to be on TV somehow. This seems like the best way to do it. I haven't watched the show enough. I've seen several episodes, but personally, I see so much dysfunction in the people on those shows that it feels very exploitative to me. I watch the show and I'm like, oh my God, these people are saying all and doing all of these horrible things to each other. Why? Why are we watching this? But it's crack. It's a train wreck. I get speed dating though. That seems like interesting. Why waste your time? Sit there with someone for 5 minutes. I think you could tell whether or not you can click, or if there's like if there is a compatible energy with somebody within the first 10 minutes. I think that's true. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Do you feel that that's true, or do you think that sometimes a first impression is completely wrong? Angie says, I'm way too awkward to be on a show like that. It'll just be me in a hoodie eating different types of cereal, being severely indecisive. I'd watch that, though. I'd be like, what kind of cereal is that? Are you mixing your cereals? What's your approach? How is your ratio of milk to cereal? What kind of milk do you use? Do you use 2%? Or do you use oat milk? This would be interesting to me. Oh, man, The Bachelor's on tonight. Angie's going to be eating Cheerios. Honey Nut? I don't know. Condyland says, no one actually thinks this process works or is genuine. The show has a low success rate. You watch it to see people. Yes, Condyland. Cheers to that. It is fun to people watch. It is definitely fun to people watch. I will do that outside my window. I'll just like watch people interacting outside my window and be like, oh, that was sweet. That was nice. You'll see like nice little moments throughout the day, nice little interactions of people being kind and generous to each other. And then sometimes, because I live in a city, you will hear someone yelling at someone else. Like the other day, I heard a guy go, "Get out of here, man. I caught you pooping on the sidewalk last week. Get out of here." So that's the kind of interactions you get around here. That's why I always take my shoes off when I come in through the door. I take my shoes off because I don't want to be tracking human poop across my floor. I live in Los Angeles. People argue over the stupid stuff and makes horrible decisions and judge them in Twitter. Yeah, Candyland, that's true. You know, it is good to feel better about ourselves when we see people who have not yet discovered certain things in life. Yeah, that's fair. No, it's fair. It's a fair look. It's human crack. It is successful for a reason. People love that show on many levels for many different reasons. And for me personally, I start to get stressed out when I'm like, no, that's the wrong. Why would you say that? Why would you do that? And then guess what? I'll be the first one to watch that show. And then, look, if you start watching that show around me and I like sit down on the couch next to you and start watching it, I'm going to be right there with you. Be going, what are they doing? It's crack. It's zombie TV. I don't want to get sucked into the zombie TV. I will become the Walking Dead Bachelor. Almond milk. That's good. Yeah. Different superhero hoodies. Oh, check it out. Angie got the Batgirl signal. She got the Batwoman hoodie. Oh, you're going to get me start talking about The Bachelor? Is that right? Listen, I don't know if I could stop you from it. I got sucked into watching Married at First Sight, and I was into it. I was watching it. I couldn't stop. I was like, this lady is crazy. This dude is messed up. Why does this dude think he could say that? Why would he say that to her? I can't believe him. What is his problem? Why doesn't he? You know, sometimes you look at them and you're like, what a lovely thing that she did for him. Why wouldn't he say thank you? What a jerk. I feel better about myself. Hey, everybody on Instagram, if you want to jump over to twitch.tv/Aristotle Full Throttle, you can continue watching me bash The Bachelor. Or you can go to AristotleFullThrottle.com and sign up there. Y'all are going to get in my head. I'm going to be catching up with The Bachelor with you guys next week. If you guys get me watching The Bachelor, then you will have succeeded. Touché. Yes, Ron, I saw my DM, the DM on Discord. I did not get a chance to check it out because I was setting up for the show today, but I did see your comment, Ron. I would love to have you, fellow filmmaker and entertainer extraordinaire, discuss the movies that you've made. And anybody who wants to come on the show that has created something interesting that they'd like to share, this show is show and tell. That's what we do here. You can Skype in. I'll get you to Skype in and we'll split screen you and we'll talk. I'm going to have more guests on. I'm going to try to get Greg on next week, Greg Benson. Guys, check out Greg Benson 1 week from Sunday. Because I'm going to be a guest on that show. We're going to be watching Beastmaster 2. That's Mediocre Films on Twitch. We're going to be watching Mark Singer run around in a Speedo. Should be interesting. Mark Singer, of course, from the 80s, from the television show V. Also, could talk to ferrets. Mark Singer brings his ferrets to every party. Everybody on Instagram, I will see you tomorrow. Uh-oh, poor connection, of course. Oh, didn't save on Instagram. Instagram, that's why Instagram is the inferior streaming platform. We don't like Instagram, guys. We like Twitch. Student projects count. Everything counts. Your creativity, your individuality. That is, I got The Bachelor on the mind. Individuality is invited. Ron Pertia, yes, I love the Beastmaster 2. Beastmaster TOO, not Beastmaster 2. I haven't seen Beastmaster 2. I've been waiting 30 years to watch Beastmaster 2 because I remember seeing the preview for it going, I would like to see that because I liked Beastmaster. That's what you say when you're like 8 years old. And then I never got around to it. So now I'm going to watch it a week from Sunday. I remember those guys that go like this? There were these dudes that were really scary in Beastmaster, and they would wrap they were kind of dragon-like, I guess, and they would wrap their body around you, and they would eat you like this with like a Venus flytrap. They'd go, and then they go, and then all your bones would fly out. They just like would eat all the flesh off you, your bones, and spit your bones out. It was pretty cool. Remember Crow, Ron Pertee? Crow was fun. Maybe we'll talk about those kinds of movies tomorrow. Let's see. You're requesting a weekly recap live streams for The Bachelor. Oh, I'm gonna have to start watching The Bachelor, it looks like. But you know, I would, if I start watching that, I'm gonna be no holds barred. I'm gonna tell you what I really think. I'm gonna tell you all of the, me and Dr. Grande will, Dr. Grande, psychologist, we're gonna take apart the psychological issues that these people have and share. Oh, Zardoz, Ron Pertee. Guess what, Ron? I have a video where my friend and I watch Zardoz and we do a live commentary on it. So you could watch that on my channel. We do a review of Zardoz. That movie is rough. I have an Iron Man hoodie. It zips all the way up, and it makes oh, that's pretty cool. Say Beastmaster, my brain automatically pulls up an image of He-Man. Why do I keep confusing the two? I will tell you why you keep confusing the two. Because oiled up muscle dudes from the 80s wearing Speedos was a thing. And the sequel to Beastmaster followed in the footsteps of Masters of the Universe, starring Dolph Lundgren as He-Man and Frank Logia as Skeletor, by the way. That movie followed, basically, they took the angle for He-Man that he was a fish out of water and traversed dimensions into, like, New York City. So the whole movie, He-Man, takes place like Crocodile Dundee, because Crocodile Dundee set that example for the early 80s, going, hey, look at this guy, he's kind of primitive, but he could talk to cows and stuff in the road, and he's got a knife. We're going to put him in New York City and then watch him interact in that type of jungle. So they did that with He-Man. Immediately, they were like, that seemed to work for Crocodile Dundee. Let's put He-Man in the city. And then Beastmaster 2 was like, that didn't work for He-Man. Let's do that with Beastmaster. There's no way this is ever going to work again. It's a very dumb fish out of water type of scenario that seems to be repeated throughout the 80s. Yeah. I did like He-Man, though. He-Mail. I remember hearing a story of Sylvester Stallone on the set of He-Man, and he looked at the director and said, you gave Dolph lines? Ooh, Sylvester Stallone. He is one of those kind of guys that likes to rib. He likes to... He likes to... What do they call that? Make fun of his buddies. He's kind of like a macho guy, Sylvester Stallone. He's a macho guy for a dude who's 3 feet tall. He's very muscular for a guy who's 1.5 feet tall. But he is also a filmmaking genius, Sylvester Stallone. Whether you like him or not, the dude has changed movies. He's an iconic figure. I'm a huge fan of Sylvester Stallone. But he does have a tendency to rib his co-stars and former co-stars constantly. He and Arnold Schwarzenegger have the best friendly rivalry I've ever seen. It is very funny to watch them usually publicly call. Now they're very supportive of each other because they've accepted their they've become comfortable with themselves, so no longer do they make fun of each other. But it's very, very funny. Yeah, they were both in the Expendables, and they even in the Expendables movies they make fun of each other because they're like, who is more macho? And Arnold is 6'2" and could probably eat a Sylvester Stallone and a half on the side of his dozen eggs in the morning. So the award goes to Arnold Schwarzenegger for being more giant, just in size. But Sylvester Stallone is a very, very smart guy. He just sounds dumb. I'm not going to make fun of his. He's got a speech impediment. So people have his whole life made fun of him because he has a speech impediment. He has like a paralyzed muscle in his lip, so he talks like this. And people mistake that for him not being intelligent, but Sylvester Stallone is actually extremely intelligent. He's a very funny and an intelligent guy. But I think he takes advantage of the fact that people perceive him as a dopey, muscle-bound guy. But I have much respect for people like Stallone who have changed movies, who wrote all of the movies he's in. People who do a lot of like fitness and stuff, I'm always a fan of. I don't know if Sylvester Stallone had a stroke. Apparently, when he was born, the doctors used forceps and they damaged a nerve in his face when they were like pulling him out of his mom, Jackie Stallone, who is like 100 years old right now, by the way. Jackie Stallone. She's still around? You guys know that? I'm curious. Where's Jackie Stallone at? Is she still talking to Dionne Warwick about psychics? Is she still psychic friends with Jackie Stallone, with Dionne Warwick? Yeah, 1921. She's 99 years old. She's 98 years old, Jackie Stallone. So if you want to follow Jackie Stallone, she's a psychic friend of Celine Dionne Warwick, I call her. You can follow her there. And if you want to listen to mediocre 80s music, listen to Frank Stallone. He's on. Here's one of the things I love about Sylvester Stallone. He's a very loyal guy. Loyalty is important. And if you have a dragon that you want to train, if you are the mother of dragons, like in Game of Thrones, if you are Daenerys, loyalty is key. Stallone is so loyal to his friends that he still puts them in his movies. He puts Dolph Lundgren in his movies, even though he makes fun of Dolph Lundgren. Dolph Lundgren is also, guys, he's like a multi-degree guy. He went to MIT. Dolph Lundgren is an actual, like, mathematician. He just sounds dumb. My favorite thing is people who sound dumb who aren't dumb. There are people, like Sharon Stone is a certified genius. And she's in a movie with Sylvester Stallone, I'm pretty sure. And Arnold Schwarzenegger. But there are folks like Sharon Stone who have, she's a genius. People don't realize that because she's so beautiful. And they're like, you're a beautiful star. How can you be so smart? Yeah, Dolph Lundgren is Mensa level. Dolph Lundgren, there are funny videos on YouTube you can watch where they test Dolph Lundgren's intelligence, and he's actually high-level mathematician. They're like, what is the formula for gravity if there are two planets? And he's just like, oh, of course, that would be... And he just rattles it off. The guy knows what he's got a degree from MIT. And he's an Olympian, who we overestimate, which is equally sad. But, yeah, guys, I was watching Creed 2 recently, and it was cool to see Dolph Lundgren in that. He kind of took a step away, but I was talking about Sylvester Stallone's loyalty, and I love that he's so loyal. He even had Wesley Snipes come back, because every co-star that he has ever had, he puts in those. Is a stalwart in Hollywood because he's like an elephant. He never forgets, and he also is a lumbering. I don't know what else. He never forgets his friends. He always includes them. He's always had a good relationship with people. Even when Hollywood tried to drum Stallone out when they thought he was box office kryptonite, he came back and he said, look, I'm going to come back with Expendables. I'm going to come back with all of these other movies because I believe in these characters and I believe in these movies. Demolition Man is so much fun, Ron Pertwee. 3 shells. It's, I think it's really cool that Stallone still to this day gives shout outs to people that, you know, he's responsible for so many careers. Icarus. Let's see. Let me check out here Dolph Lundgren's life. Yeah, he was in Johnny Mnemonic. Interesting. Roland Emmerich, Universal Soldier. Remember that? That was pretty good. MIT. He received a Fulbright scholarship to MIT, moved to Boston, and he went to New York City, began acting. It's not easy to get a Fulbright scholarship. He's got a master's degree in chemical engineering from University of Sydney in 1982. This is Dolph Lundgren. The dude can balance chemical equations. and also punch your face. Dolph's IQ is 160. That's genius level. But his name is Dolph. Because you're like, Dolph. It kind of takes away. His name is Hans Lundgren, but we call him Dolph. I mean, maybe that's really why. Maybe that's really why. Yeah, dragons. We was talking about dragons and The Bachelor. Loyalty is key. If you ever own a dragon, be nice to your dragon. Good night, Tatiana. I'm gonna head out too. I'm gonna do some push-ups and sit-ups and some really advanced chemical equations so that I can be more like Dolph Lundgren. I'm gonna punch a thing. 1900. You guys know what movie that's from. Well, guys, thank you for joining me. Steve Martin has an IQ of 142, and that's genius level 2. Yeah, Steve Martin is also great. He's an art collector. Steve Martin is very highly intelligent. Probably the greatest comic genius of his generation. And these are people I look up to. Thank you guys so much for joining me on Aristotle Full Throttle. Ron, let me know your schedule for next week, and we'll pop you on one of the shows, and we'll have a little chat. You had your IQ tested in high school, Ange. What was it? I tested my IQ once. It was interesting. According to the test I took, it was higher than Steve Martin's, which made me feel better. There you go, Ange. 146. That's genius. That's genius level. But the most important question is, do you eat honey bunches of oats, or do you have Good Friends cereal? I had a really good cereal. I get a cereal in the mail every month, and it is a keto cereal, and I eat the whole thing in one day every time I get it. I'm like, oh, this is just too good. I like cereal. Why is cereal so good? Well, Angie, if you're so smart, why does cereal taste so good? Well, I'm sure your IQ is much lower now, having watched this show for several months. So, you're welcome. Yeah, Ron met it. Ron called out the movie reference. You will be destroyed. 1,950 pounds. Drago. That was so scary, right? Remember when Drago was punching that thing, and it was like they were measuring the pounds of pressure, and he was like punching it? I was so scared. I was like, this guy's gonna kill Rocky. Like he killed Apollo. Like he's gonna kill Apollo in the next scene. Yeah. Cereal is the perfect soup, and soup is the perfect hot drink. I do like cereal. I'm gonna leave you with this. When I used to eat cereal, I used to have a cereal problem. I would eat lots of cereal all the time. I would get 5 boxes of cereal every time I went shopping. I would get like 4 really cheap ones and then one really nice fancy one. And I had these 2 giant plastic bins, and I would pour all of the cereals into the 2 bins, and then I would shake them up. And I made my own cereal, and it was the greatest cereal because it was every cereal. I would get like a healthy cereal, a really crappy cereal, maybe one with maybe like a Life cereal also, which is deceptively unhealthy. It is just sugar. I would get like bran flakes just so I could pretend that there was something healthy going on in there. And then I'd get like, I don't know, some kind of crazy sugary, and then I would pour. I figured out the milk to cereal ratio. We're learning today here on Aristotle Full Throttle. When you're pouring the milk in your bowl of cereal, so first you pour a bowl of cereal, right? However much cereal you think you can eat, however full you fill that bowl with cereal, you'll be able to eat it all. I promise. Trick. As soon as the cereal moves, that's the right amount of milk. Then stop. As soon as the cereal goes, shh, then you're done. Cut it off. Cut the milk off. You've created the perfect proportion of milk to cereal. This is a This is a fact. This will be in my book. If ever you were confused about how much milk, because this is what can happen. This is a disaster. You could pour a bowl of cereal, pour milk in, and then when you're done with the cereal, there's still milk. So now you got to pour more cereal in to try to finish that, and then you cereal. And enjoy your cereal. Enjoy your day. Have a great day, Dr. Baby Yoda.
You too, Lori 3040. Thank you for joining us on Aristotle Full Throttle. I'm very happy to have been here, privy to you all being safe and smart and kind. And what did we learn today? We learned the proper ratio of milk to cereal. No matter what milk you choose, no matter how many cereals or combination of cereals that you use, it's important for you to know the proper ratio, and we've done that. We've achieved, we've watch that video on dragons. It's really fascinating. All right. Now I'm hungry. Bye, guys.